So 8 years ago or so, I dropped this 2DS and completely destroyed the screen when I was hanging out with my cousin. I have a photo to show it, and it obviously is not in good shape, not at all in playing condition. So for the past few days, I've been working on fixing it as kind of like an intro project. And I thought, what the hell, maybe I can take it apart and try and figure out what's wrong with it. So one thing I did immediately was buy a replacement screen on eBay, which went for about like $45. I plugged it in, I watched a couple YouTube videos, I attached the ribbon cables, which I have now also broken a lot of those ribbon cables. So now I'm using tape. Hopefully that's going to work. After some finagling, it actually did work. But I found that the A and the B buttons were not working. So I kind of looked at the motherboard on the button side, but maybe if I can zoom in here. Yeah, I don't know if it's very clear from the video here, but the motherboard is actually in really good shape, it looks like, mostly. I mean, there's a couple pieces that are kind of broken off, but the pads themselves for the buttons look really good. So I thought, what I can do is maybe jailbreak the device to remap the controls so that my X and Y button do what A and B are supposed to do. But lo and behold, when you actually do the pirating software or whatever it's called, it requires an input sequence. I think it's like left, down, up, right, and then A. And A is broken. So it's kind of a chicken and egg problem. So what I tried to do then was find the actual GitHub page of the person who created the code to jailbreak the 3DS and then just change the input sequence to, instead of having A, use the select button, which was working on my device. But I couldn't make it. Making means like to build it, to bring it together into some sort of executable object so that your Nintendo 3DS can actually read it. I tried it on my MacBook and I installed a lot of like things called like Pac-Man and Firm installer and 3DS building software, but it just didn't work after I cloned all the GitHub packages and everything. This was like a rabbit hole that took so many hours and went late at night. I think it was last night. So anyway, what I found was that didn't work. But as a kind of a Hail Mary, I just like in some Discord chat said, hey, can you guys take a look at this board and tell me if there's anything that looks wrong? Anyway, some random dude on Discord took a look at my circuit board and found that actually the A and B buttons have resistors, which are like microscopic. I measured them. They are 1 millimeter long and 0.5 millimeter wide. The point is, we found that these two resistors, using a 10 times microscope, this loop here, you can look through this loop. I found that the two resistors are broken, and I'm going to try and get a photo or video of that, but I don't know if I can. And so the only way to do it is essentially to replace the resistor. But the problem with doing that is that you need to know the resistance of the resistors. So I bought a multimeter. I bought this device. This has been so much money spent on this stupid project. There we go. This device here, which isn't even sensitive enough to pick up how much resistance it is, because these resistors are doing like 2 or 3 ohms of resistance or something like that. So anyway, point is, I don't know what resistor I would even need, but soldering that into place for a 1 by 1/2 millimeter resistor on this board, I've never even soldered anything before. So like, this is like immediately jumping into maybe the most difficult soldering. I'm just going to like bridge the terminals to try and connect them and see if my A and B button work. I have no idea how that's going to go, but I'm going to attempt to do this soldering job tomorrow. So a couple days ago, I received in the mail the HDMI mod for the Game Boy Advance, where I can finally now play the Game Boy Advance and then stream it to a TV or to a computer. But the kit came with a spare super small wire, and that actually kind of gave me an idea. So it came with this super thin white wire here, which is like a spare, but actually that gave me an idea for my 2DS to fix it. I'm going to see if I can change the camera. If I touch Y to like another component elsewhere on the board, you can hear that there's continuity. The X button has a resistor up here, which is still intact. However, the A and the B buttons both have resistors here and here, and those resistors somehow got knocked off, which is kind of unfortunate because you can't open Pokemon Omega Ruby without the A button, which I have found out. You can't use a touchscreen, start button, anything. It doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is take this wire, solder it to 1/2 of the, I'm not sure which half yet, but 1/2 of the resistor on the X button connected to the A button, and then the Y button connected to the B button. And that way I can press X and Y instead of A and B and have functionality in my games. Essentially do what A and B used to do. So I'm going to connect the end of the resistor on the X button to the end of the resistor on the A button. The end of where the resistor should have been. And hopefully that's going to give me power and it's going to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be sad, but that's how it goes. So I have no idea if this is going to work, but I'm going to go out, solder outside and see the result. We got the wire attached here, so hopefully we can attach it to the other side. I don't know if this is going to work properly at all, but why not give it a shot? Okay, so miraculously, I think I may have been able to connect the wires, but I have no idea now if the Y button is even going to work. So Y is going to be the A button, hopefully. Let's reassemble this 2DS and find out whether any of this is working or not. I don't know why I'm not just buying another board for 25 bucks. That would have been cheaper than any of the soldering equipment I bought, but whatever. Okay, moment of truth. Okay. So I'm just going to try not to hit the A button because the problem is I may have bridged the A button, which means that if I actually hit the A button and it doesn't have the resistor, when I press the button, it's going to provide way too much voltage and fry the circuit, the motherboard. So what we're going to do, it's incredible that that connection is there. I'm just going to try and play and hit the Y button and see if that works. And if it does, I'm going to be really happy. But I think that this 2DS is on its last legs. Like, I don't think we're going to have very much, we're not going to have very much gameplay. But I'm going to reassemble it now and see if we can get anything going. The voltmeter shows there's continuity at least, so the soldering job isn't completely botched. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I think it's time to see if the device at least turns on. I've turned off the sleep mode. Is it going to work? Okay, we have a blue light. That's good. That's good. Maybe not. Oh, that's good. Okay. I don't want to hit the A button because I'm afraid it's going to like blow up. So we're going to open Omega Ruby. I have not entered this copy of Omega Ruby in like 8 years because the screen was destroyed. And then after I fixed it, the A and B buttons both didn't work. Oh, I don't have the SD card in. Okay. I'm going to close it. I'm just going to use the touchscreen right now because I don't have any faith. So the start button is able to get me past the intro screen at least. Here's the intro screen. Nice. Start. Oh, that was pretty loud. All right. So we got Pokemon, start, Omega Ruby, it's in French. And then there's just nothing you can do here to start the game. But maybe if I press the Y button. Ain't no way. And that, kids, is why soldering is a skill that actually has meaning. Okay. Okay, so now I can tap the touchscreen to go forward. Okay. The Y button. There's just no way this is happening. Oh my god, dude. There's no way this is happening. The Y button is now the A button. Let me look at my Pokemon. I have not been able to open this game because the A button just didn't work. And the screen was broken. There's no way I can just play. I haven't seen this Pokemon in forever. Okay, the B button is still broken, but the Y button works. So that is just incredible. Wow. Okay. Yeah, the A button doesn't work, but the Y button triggers where the A button was supposed to trigger. So actually the A button not working means that I didn't bridge the I didn't bridge the connection. So that's just amazing. I don't know. I'm done. I've done it. I've done everything. I've done everything I ever wanted to do. No, I haven't. Okay, we're doing Game Boy Advance stuff now, but I'm so happy this is working. This is crazy. This is like my second time soldering, and I was soldering on SMD surface mount devices, which is like really, really tricky, really precise. Usually you use like a solder paste, sorry, plus like a heat gun, and I don't have any of that equipment. I don't have any helping hands. I was just using like a Costco fold-out table outside and doing my best, and I cannot believe it worked out. Anyway, this is amazing. Just wow. All right, anyway, thanks so much for watching. See you later.